Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to talk about gender selection IVF, my experience with it, why we decided to do it, and things like that. Because every time I mention IVF on my Instagram page, I have so many comments, so many DMs, so people are curious. And I was like, okay, how about I make a long YouTube video where I share my experience. So if this video can help at least one couple to decide if gender selection IVF is something that they want to do, I am glad. So hopefully I can help you with my experience. But if you still have questions after watching this video, you can leave them in the comment and I'll try to get back to you. And also don't forget to subscribe because I'm trying to post weekly unfiltered video of just me talking, not cutting anything out. That's why if you still see that my English or my sentences are not perfect, please forgive me. I'm trying to make it super unfiltered and just go with the flow. So let's begin. I have 4 kids, 3 boys, and the last one is a baby girl. We wanted a girl even the first time, even before we decided we want to have kids. Me and my husband always wanted to have a girl. We liked these cute dresses, and it's just like, I don't know. We always wanted to have a girl. And when the first baby gender reveal showed up blue, I was upset. I think my husband was like, whatever. But I was upset, not like it mattered much because it was our first baby, and of course, as long as the baby is healthy, whatever happens. But I wanted a girl, so I was a little bit upset. But honestly, now looking back to this experience, I'm glad that it was a boy and it worked out this way, because I don't know, maybe if we would have a girl the first time, maybe we wouldn't have more kids because we would be like all set, I don't know. So first one was a boy. Then couple years after, it's another boy. We were like, okay, 2 boys. Now the third one should definitely be a girl, right? Another gender reveal. And I remember with my baby number 3, we didn't even invite people for the gender reveal because I was like, I can't, like if it's a boy again, I wouldn't be able to like hide my emotions. So we just did it, just me and my husband, so just the 2 of us, and it's a boy again. At that moment I was upset, because like we didn't plan to have this big of a family. I didn't think that having even I don't know anyone that have more than 2 kids in my circle, right? From like my mother's friends or like from my friends, like none of the people I know have big families. Now that I have 4 kids, I have only, I think, 2 couples that I know that have 4 kids. Other than that, I don't have people that have that many kids. That's why when the baby number 3 was a boy, I was upset because I thought that I'll never have a girl again. But I'm glad that I'm not stopping, I'm not giving up. And as soon as we had the baby number 3, which was a boy, I was still breastfeeding him. He was like 6 months old. And my husband told me like, we should start looking into gender selection IVF. I think it was his idea first. And he even found a place where we can go to get a consultation. Boca Raton, Dr. Denker. I think it's Fertility Center in Boca Raton, Dr. Denker. Whatever. I'll leave it under the video so you can look it up. So we live in Florida. So in Florida, gender selection IVF is legal. It's normal. People use it, so it's been around. And like I said, my baby was only 6 months old, and we made an appointment, just like a consultation, to speak to a doctor. We explained to a doctor that, listen, we're young, we don't have problems getting pregnant, but it's just every time we do, it's a boy, boy, boy. And we can't really play any more games because I had C-section with every single one of my boys. And the doctors told me that, and since the age gap was so little, less than 2 years between each other, just the doctor told me that, listen, like you can only maybe have 1 more baby, because like you, every time it's just a better risk of rupture and things like that. Plus, again, I don't want to have 8 kids, even though I remember when I was a little, not when I was super, super young, but like when I was like 20 years old, I, for some reason, was telling everyone that I want 7 kids. So I don't know where this is coming from, but maybe I know because I was the only child and I was lonely. I always wanted like a friend that's not like your friend, but like your blood sister, even though I know some people hate their siblings. So I don't know, I can't complain. everything happens for a reason. But basically, that's why I always wanted to have a brother or sister. That's why I decided to have a big family on my own. So, and this Dr. Denker, he explained to us how the process works, and he said that first we need to watch you for a couple cycles, do some ultrasound, some blood work for you, for your husband, like sperm analysis and things like that. They do it anyway. Doesn't matter if you can get pregnant naturally or no. They still make you do the same process as if you would have problems conceiving, right? So, and that's why they said it's nice that you're finishing right now your breastfeeding, so we can start in the next couple of months. We can start just monitoring you for a couple of cycles so we can see how's everything looking like. And I think after that, we decided that we're gonna do it. I don't know why. Like, we were always thinking about it after our last baby boy. We're always thinking about it. We knew it exists, but it was never like, okay, we're gonna do it. But after we had this consultation, I don't know, it just became real, and we were like, okay, let's do it. The whole process, I'm gonna go through details and how everything works, but from my experience, the biggest downside of this process is that it's expensive. That's the only thing. Is there a guarantee that it's gonna work? No. But again, I'm gonna go into details. Basically, the whole thing costs about $40,000. I didn't have a health insurance, so that's why maybe if you do, it can be like 35 or something like that. You don't have to pay the whole amount up front. They offer financing, and basically, I don't remember exact numbers, but let's say the first stage is where they monitor you, whatever, it's like $5,000. Then you also need injections that you do daily in your belly to make sure it's going the way it's supposed to go. So all the medications throughout the whole period of your IVF is also around $5,000. Plus the egg retrieval process is like $15,000. And then I think the test itself to see what kind of gender are your eggs, it's like another $5,000. And then to put the eggs back, I think it's another like $10,000. I might be wrong, but basically it's like $40,000 approximately altogether. And then there is no guarantee that from the first time they're gonna retrieve the enough eggs. They do everything possible. That's why they put you on injections, so you have more eggs to retrieve. But it might happen, I'll tell you what happened with me, but it might happen that you don't have enough eggs. That's why if this happens to you, you have to do it again, and then it's going to be like another $10,000, $15,000. So that's why, like, we were lucky that it worked from the first time, and I think we didn't spend more than 40, 38, something like that. But if at one point one step doesn't work and you have to redo it, that's going to be more expensive. And the most expensive part is the egg retrieval. Because if they have the eggs and they put it inside you and then it doesn't survive, like, to put another egg in next cycle is not a big deal. It's like a couple $1,000s. So that's why there is no 100% guarantee. But right now, I feel like the technology is pretty good. So they know what they do. It's not something new. It's been around for 20 years for sure. So this specific doctor that we went to, he has, I think, 2 daughters, twins, and he did it for his wife, like, back then. Like, his daughters are like, I don't know, 20, 15 years old, I don't know. But this has been around, and it's only getting easier and better, and the more people they do it on, the more experience that they get and things like that. So that's why there is a big chance that it's gonna work from the first time, especially if you don't have any problems conceiving naturally. But let me share my story and how it basically worked for me. So after the first cycle, I think they watch you for 1 or 2 cycles, I don't remember, but they do ultrasound and they see, okay, how many eggs does your body produce naturally every cycle. Let's say mine was on a normal side, not too many, not too little. I was 28 years old back then, so it's also a good plus, right? They usually, I mean, the older you get, the less eggs you produce. But it's not a big deal. They have a lot of patients over 35, even over 40 years old. It just, I guess, the chances are less likely. And maybe you'll have to like spend more money if it doesn't work. But basically it works on, it doesn't matter your age, but the younger, the better. Let's say they said, okay, you have like 10 eggs. But what they do is they use it as a base, and then you start getting like, basically then you decide. Once they monitor you for a cycle or two, they tell you, okay, now we know everything about you, about your cycle. They also analyze husband's sperm, and they see like if it's moving okay, if it's healthy, maybe he's the problem, whatever. So they also gave him some recommendations. They asked him if he's smoking or whatever. So they were like, okay, maybe you should not smoke, whatever. But since, like I said, we didn't have problems conceiving naturally, there was nothing that they recommended us to do before we can start the process. That's why next cycle, we were like, okay, we're starting the process. Again, they start monitor you, but what's different is you start doing shots in your belly. I don't know from day number 1 or whatever, but basically what they make you do is they make you do some kind of shots that make your body produce more eggs. And let's say instead of having 10 eggs, you're gonna have 25, which is good for them because they want to retrieve as many eggs as possible so they can make all these eggs pregnant. And basically, the more eggs they have, the better, right? So, and since I was young and I didn't have a problem producing eggs, normal amount of eggs naturally, they didn't put me on a big dosage. Like I remember they gave me like, I don't know the numbers, but let's say they gave me the dose and they were like, it should be enough for you. So when the day came for the egg retrieval, so you do it for like a month, you do like for like your cycle, right? When the day comes where your egg's supposed to be ready, they do an ultrasound like a day before. They see that everything is, they see how everything is like growing, how many eggs you have, they count it. But then basically on the egg retrieval day, 24 hours before, you also put some kind of a shot in your belly that makes all these eggs mature. It makes them open up, or I don't know what happens exactly, but basically they need these eggs in specific condition, ready to basically be connected with the sperm. And they gave me also like not a big dose. And what happened is when I came next day for the egg retrieval, they put me to sleep. They started getting out the eggs. And then I wake up and they tell me, listen, we would have to do it again because we started getting out eggs from you and they were not mature enough. So we didn't want to risk the whole process. We didn't want to waste any time. We decided we're going to give you a bigger shot, bigger dosage, so your eggs that didn't mature can mature more. And then tomorrow morning you come again, we put you to sleep again, and we do it again. I was already frustrated, because like you get nervous about all these things, and like the putting to sleep part wasn't that scary, just because I don't know, I think like it's not the same experience with like, let's say when you do your boobs. I feel like it's more gentle because it's just, they're not like cutting you open or anything like that. They just kind of like open everything up and then just get out eggs. I don't know. So it's not that invasive. Nothing hurts after. But when they gave me this double dosage to make sure that my eggs mature, I came back home, and when it started working, I looked pregnant. Like my belly was just like pregnant, bloated, not just a little bit, but like it was big. I felt bad, and I also felt like frustrated, like it's not working out, because also these hormones that you put into your body, like with the shots, it makes you a little bit sensitive. It makes you a little bit like moody, you want to cry, and blah, blah, blah. I was really okay with that. It just like some days were worse, but I knew why I was doing it. I wanted to have a girl, so that's why. Okay, so what? You are more moody, more ready to cry at any point, so whatever. So the next day when I came back, they put me to sleep again, and when I woke up, they told me they got out eggs, but let's say they planned to take out 25 eggs. They only got like 10 or 8 eggs out of me because some of the eggs were already like too mature. I don't know, again, I'm not a scientist. I don't know how to like explain, but I'm explaining in a simple way where everyone can understand, right? So hopefully you do. So a lot of the eggs were already too mature, so they couldn't use them. And basically they were only able to retrieve 8 or 10 eggs that were looking like good eggs, which is little. It's like so little because they usually plan to have like 3 times more than they need, because then when they send them to lab, they test them to see if they're genetically okay, blah, blah, blah. So like they really sometimes just lose some eggs because of the quality. That's why if you want to make sure you have a lot of girls, a lot of healthy embryos, you need to make sure you have a lot of eggs, whatever. So it was frustrating, but 8 or 10 is better than nothing. It's on the smaller side, but it's okay. What happens next? After they retrieve the eggs, then they mix it with the sperm right away. They mix it with the sperm, and the sperm naturally implements the eggs, which makes it an embryo. Then they keep this embryo developing for 5 days. In a normal lab, they don't even monitor them, I think, but on day number 5, they freeze all the embryos and they send them to a lab. There's one lab in the whole, no, it's not one. It's like maybe 5 labs in the whole United States where they have technology to test embryos that are this small, like 5-day-old embryo, which is like so tiny. So they freeze it on day number 5, they ship it to this lab, and you have to wait 2-3 weeks for them to get back to you and to tell you like what's going on. Do you have girls? Do you have boys? Do you have healthy embryos? And I remember they also rank it from A to B, or A, B, C, something like that. So A is the perfect healthy embryo, B is a good one, but it's not like, maybe like the lining of it is not too perfect, so it might not attach to your uterus that well. C is less likely to attach, and like, I don't know, something like that. But basically, these 3 weeks were really challenging for me because I was only really scared about the money, because if basically they wouldn't have healthy girls from these embryos, we would have to do this step again, and then first of all wasted time, wasted another like $10,000-$15,000. And that's like the most difficult part, because they put you to sleep, whatever, because once the embryos are done, then it's pretty much easy. I know a lot of people do this egg retrieval process, and then they keep their embryos for years, and they like put their embryos like 5 years after, whatever. So it's like a simple process of putting the embryo in your body. It's a simple process. But that's why these 2 weeks were really emotionally difficult, because you did something, you were hoping it's gonna work, and then now you don't know if it's gonna work. And then I don't even know, like, I know we are not the type of people that would give up, but honestly, I don't know if we would try to do it again. Just because, again, the money, the process, and also like all the shots. Like, I also heard some stories that people say that some women get cancer when they do this IVF, not just gender selection IVF, but in general. Like, there are some women that get cancer from doing IVF. I don't know. This is the stories that I heard like back then when I was a kid. I feel like now, like I said, technologies are not there. So, and my doctor didn't told me anything about that. So that's why, but I knew I didn't want to make my body do something serious like that another time, even though knowing me, we wouldn't stop. So these 3 weeks were difficult. But then when they called us and they say that you have 4, I think out of these 10 embryos, only 4 were healthy and developed enough. And out of these 4, there was, you're not gonna believe it, there was 3 girls and 1 boy. Can you imagine? Like, we thought it's gonna be boys and like 1 girl, but it was 3 girls and 1 boy. So 1 girl was not like a bad lining, like a C embryo. So they don't recommend to put C embryos if there's other. Obviously, if there is no others, they will put anything to see if it can work. But let's say in my situation, they would only use embryos that are grade A and B. So we had a 1 embryo, grade A girl, grade B girl, and I think grade C boy. I think also the boy was not like a perfect embryo too. And honestly, now looking back, it's amazing that it worked out this way, because basically we used all the embryos, all the healthy embryos, because, you know, then you have to also make a decision. What are you going to do with the remainder of your embryos? You can donate them, you can freeze them for later, or you can discard them. But basically it's like babies, you know, it's like your babies. Some people can freeze them and decide to put them in 10 years after, or donate it. Like, I don't know, there's just, it's a serious decision to make. That's why maybe it's good that for us, we didn't have to make the decision what to do with the embryos, because you cannot donate grade C. And basically we were technically left with 2 healthy embryos, 2 girls. And I was like, okay, we're gonna put both of them in at the same time. And the doctor was like, listen, do you understand that we put hormones in you, so one of these embryos can split? And let's say if you put in 2, you might have 3 kids at the same time, like triplets, or 4 kids. It's less likely, obviously, but it can happen, and the doctor has to let you know. And I was like, yeah, like, it's not gonna happen most likely, but if it will, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. So basically, they ask you, so when do you wanna start the process of putting these embryos in? And we didn't wanna wait, so basically next cycle, at the perfect time, again, since they monitored you, they know how your cycles work, so they know, let's say on April 15th, this is the day you come in and we put these embryos in. And they also, like, another question that I get a lot is, can they guarantee the health of these embryos? And yes, the technology, like, they test these embryos like on DNA level, and there's like 100% guarantee. If they tell you this is the healthy embryo, it will be healthy embryo. Because let's say if you get pregnant natural, you do this NIPT blood test where they take your blood and they kind of tell you if your baby can have some Down syndrome or whatever, but still it's not as accurate as testing the embryo itself. That's why don't worry about the like genetic issues. They do test this on a really good level, and they tell you it's healthy, it is healthy. So on the day of putting the embryos inside your body, you come in, and I remember the doctor recommended me to do the needles. How you say it, like when they put needles in your body, which is makes your blood flow and whatever. So for some reason, doctor said that this is a helpful thing to make sure that your body is like gonna take the embryo and it's gonna survive and everything is gonna be good. So I remember we came that day, and I did this needle treatment. What's the proper name? I forgot. Whatever. You guys understand what I mean. And then you just sit on like this gynecologist chair, and they just put it in. Like they just like a regular gynecologist exam. So they don't have to put you to sleep when they put the embryos in. They just like put it in, and that's it. And you basically go home and hope that they're gonna survive. So we put 2 embryos in, like I said, 2 girls. I was hoping it's gonna be 2 girls. And then you have to wait. You have to wait 2 weeks, like a regular pregnancy after you have sex. You have to wait till your next period to see if you get a period or no. So like a 2-week waiting period. And I felt, since it wasn't my first pregnancy, I felt like I'm pregnant. Sometimes, you know, you can get pregnant and then something can happen, but I definitely felt like something is happening, because sometimes if the embryo doesn't attach properly, it can just like flush and nothing happens, but I definitely felt like something is happening. So yeah, in 2 weeks you come in. I don't remember if they do the ultrasound or they do the blood work. I think they do the blood work first. Yeah, I think before they can see it on the ultrasound, they do the blood work and they tell you if you're pregnant or no. And I remember we came, I think 2 weeks after they put the eggs in, and they say that, yes, you know, the pregnancy hormone is going up, you are pregnant. And then I was super happy that, you know, like it worked out, blah, blah, blah. We still didn't know how many embryos are there. But then I think after 2 weeks, when they were able to look at the ultrasound, they saw that it's only 1. So we put in 2, but only 1 made it. Another one didn't make it, which is actually a good thing too, because imagine having twins is hard. Like I was ready, I was crazy enough, because I was like, listen, I don't like being pregnant. That's why I'll take 1 pregnancy and 2 kids at the same time. For me, it's better. I think so. I've never tried it. But I was like, okay, maybe it's good that it happened this way. Only one made it. But basically after that, you still have to keep going doing the shots in your belly for I think 3 months. So yeah, for 3 months. A little bit annoying. Again, you still these shots still make you a little bit moody, but it's fine. It's not something, it doesn't hurt when you do it. It's like, it's whatever. Like, you have to do the shot, whatever. But I think after the first month or 2 months, I don't remember exactly, you have to transition from this IVF clinic to the regular OBGYN. And then when you come to the OBGYN, then they start, like, you tell them that you did IVF, whatever, but then they start like monitor you as a regular pregnancy. You also have to do this NIPT test, blood test, to see if the baby is okay, even though they put the embryos, they were genetically fine, right? So I go to my OBGYN, they do this NIPT test, and they call me and they tell me, listen, something is probably not right with your baby, because we did this NIPT test and it's showing that your baby, your girl, might have this Y chromosome syndrome. Like, I don't remember exactly the name of it, but it's basically when your baby, when the girl is like on the smaller side, like basically there's like one chromosome is missing. It's not big of a deal, where it's not like it's a Down syndrome. There is a possibility that your baby might have some genetic disease. This is so crazy. You don't understand. Like, imagine, it's not a regular pregnancy. I spent money, I spent time, I spent my health and my like emotions onto having this baby, and then, you know, they tell you that the baby might be genetically not okay. I started calling my fertility doctor, and he told me that, listen, it's very unlikely, like, because, you know, we test the embryos when they are, you know, like just embryos. So he's like, it's very unlikely. We just tested the embryos. There's very unlikely something is wrong with your girl. It's probably maybe picking up the DNA from the other embryo that we put in. And maybe that's why there's some kind of mismatch with Y chromosomes and things like that. So the doctor, IVF doctor, told me that I shouldn't worry about it. It's probably a mistake or something like that. And the thing is, the OBGYN told me that we can't find out anything for sure. We have to wait until you're like 5 months pregnant. And I was like 3 months pregnant back then. So like, let's say 6 more weeks or 7 more weeks. I had to wait for them to be able to take the amniotic fluid from my belly, like poke my belly, get the fluid, and then do the test on the amniotic fluid. This would give 100% guarantee if something is wrong genetically with the baby. These 6 weeks were the worst time of my life, because again, it was very frustrating. And again, like, you're already pregnant, you're already like 3 months, 4 months pregnant, and like, you can't even be happy about it, you can't talk about it, because, you know, there might be something wrong with your baby. And then what's even scary to me, that I started thinking about the decision, like, what if the baby is genetically not okay? Like, I know some people, it's a very tough topic, but for me personally, I wouldn't be okay to give birth to a baby that's not genetically okay, with like Down syndrome. You might have different opinions on that, but for me, that's torture for the kid and for the parents. And especially technology are there right now to test these things in advance. So that's why if I would find out that the baby is genetically not okay, and if, like, let's say I would do my research and find out that it's something, you know, not something small, but something like a Down syndrome, I would have to do the abortion, right? And like these 6 weeks, you like think about it, like, what would you do? And I know that when you are like 5 months pregnant, the abortion is not just some kind of a shot where you just have your period and nothing happens. It's more like a delivery, right? Your baby is already like this big, whatever. So that's why these 6 weeks were horrible, like horrible. I didn't know how it's gonna work out, what it's gonna be. And also this amniotic fluid test is also dangerous, because they say that they have to poke your belly to get through the baby, and there's a small chance that they might hurt the baby, right? But again, what can you do? I didn't want to just risk it and wait till the baby is born with some kind of syndrome. But let's not be dramatic. Let's jump fast forward 6 weeks after. I come in frustrated. They do this amniotic fluid test, and I think it only takes like less than a week to get the results, maybe like 5 days. And then 5 days after, they call me and they say, your girl is super healthy, everything is good, and maybe your IVF doctor was right. Maybe the NIPT test just picked up some DNA from the other embryo that they put in. Whatever it is, but they were like, your baby is perfectly healthy. At this moment, I was 5 months pregnant, right? At this moment, it was a relief. I was happy that the baby is healthy, that I'm already like 5 months pregnant, so everything is good. But still, after this happened, this feeling that something else can happen just didn't leave my mind. Like I'm telling you, like every time I was scared about the delivery, about early labor, about something, and I'm not usually like an anxious person. I'm never thinking about the worst case scenario. I'm always positive, but just you don't understand, like just these things, they make you be psycho where you're like, okay, but I can still be happy about having my girl because something's gonna happen. Like, and you know, I sometimes had these feelings like maybe it's the universe trying to show me that, you know, don't play with me. You're not meant to have girl. Like you're meant to be a boy mom. But jumping forward, everything was great. I had my baby, again, C-section, because it's a scheduled C-section. Everything was great. She was healthy. She is healthy. And I'm so glad I did it. And speaking of this, God aspect of the IVF, I get a lot of comments from people saying that if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Why you playing with God? Why you trying to do something that's not God willing, whatever. For me, I look at it different way. I look at it, if gender selection IVF exists, if you can go and get it done, if I had the courage, if I had the money to go get it done and it worked, which means it was meant to be, which means there's nothing wrong, which means that there's no God that was against me having a girl, I'm sorry, which means that everything happens how it happens. And I'm just glad that I am being proactive and I'm trying to be the creator of my life and I'm trying to do everything that's possible for me to get what I want. That's why if you think about gender selection IVF, I only have good things to say about this whole process. Is it easy? No. Can you have some complications? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. Is it worth the money? Absolutely. Let's say even if it wouldn't work out, like you like the financing options that they have, you can like pay it out like your mortgage for like next 10 years or like I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, isn't it worth having a baby girl, healthy baby girl that you dreamed of? If you can make it happen, if it costs you money, if you can afford it, if you can rent, like finance it, do it. Do it. Are you scared of pain of the shots? I get this message a lot too. Like, was the shots painful? Like, was it painful? No, don't worry about the pain. Shots don't hurt. The whole process don't hurt. The only thing is that it's difficult emotionally. Like, yes, you get emotional. The shots make you emotional. You want to cry and you want to question your decisions. Like, oh, what if it's not going to work? Maybe it was not meant to be. Like, you get this emotional and it's difficult because, you know, these shots make you bloated even when you're not pregnant. Like, you're still not pregnant. You're still just like doing these shots, but you still look like you're 4 months old. You're 4 months pregnant, right? So that's why it's also a little bit frustrating on the body. But again, you know why you do it. You know why you want to do it. And if you basically thinking about it, just go have this consultation, talk to your doctor, consider this, you know, it's just, I always feel like it's better to do something and regret you did it than just think about the fact that, you know, you could have done it and you never did it. Because also a lot of people tell me like, oh, did you try this natural calculations of how to have a girl, like this Chinese calendar, some other methods? Girls, we tried it all. That's why I have 3 boys. After like 2 times with my two boys, we tried it all. We tried to calculate it. We're trying to have sex on a special dates. it did not work for me. And that's why I just could not risk trying it again and playing this Russian roulette. And basically, if it would be one more boy, that's it. So that's why if you know you want a girl or you want a boy, and you know you can afford it, I definitely recommend going to have this consultation and doing the IVF. No regrets, absolutely love everything, absolutely glad I did it, because again, you cannot play games. If you have one baby and you want your second baby to be a specific gender, I don't know if it's worth the hassle. But if you have 2, 3 boys or girls and you want a boy or a girl, I definitely recommend you to stop play games, because it's not a joke. I have friends, they have 6 girls, 6, okay? So I have other friend that has 4 girls. Like, it's just funny. Like, my friends have girls, yeah. But it's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you might feel like I felt like, okay, baby number 4 should definitely be naturally a girl. You never know. You never know. That's why don't play games, make this consultation. Let me know if you still have questions. I don't mind sharing more details about it. But again, I'm glad that it exists. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad now that I'm done having kids, that I have 3 boys and 1 baby girl. Now they're gonna be protector for her, and they always gonna, like, I'm always trying to make my kids be connected to each other, support each other, and hopefully, like, that's my goal. When they're older, I want them to be best friends. I know things can happen, I know, but as of now, as a parent, I'm doing everything in my power to make them understand that they're family, you know? I don't want them to compete. I don't want them to hate each other. I want them to understand that they are there to support each other, to be there for each other. Yes, they fight, especially the boys. It's okay. But they have to understand that we are family and we have to help each other, not be competitive and be like, oh, why he's getting that? Why he's getting that? Like, no, we learn to share, we learn to help each other, and we just learn to live this life the way we can live this life. It's our first time living this life. Obviously, nothing is perfect. We still have some issues, the kids fight and things like that. But this was my experience with IVF. Again, I wish you good luck. I hope you can have your girl or your boy, because, you know, if you found this video, it's for a reason. It was meant to be.